Andrew Ivins had a fantastic statement earlier on the 24/7 Sports coverage here on National Signing Day when he said that Mario Cristobal could be listed as the primary recruiter for almost every single prospect in this class. And this Hurricanes class is fantastic. It is the best in the ACC. It is one of the 10 best in the entire country, checking in at number 7 in the 24/7 Sports team rankings. And this is a group that, missed out on Cormani McClain as the 5-star cornerback ends up flipping to Colorado. Obviously, Jaden Rashada was potentially going to be in this group as well. So it is not a surprise to see that Mario Cristobal, who pours himself into every single level of recruiting every single player, it's not a surprise that he's got a highly ranked class just because the dude is able to accumulate blue chips. But Bud, what in this class stands out to you that makes it more than just number 7 on the score? But how does it look? Because the Hurricanes were 5-7 this past year, and they need to have results in 2023 that are going to tell future classes that this is not going to be a tenure that's going to be short-lived. Mario needs to get wins quickly. How do you think this class is going to help?
So what I see here is not panic, but patience and a real trust for Mario Cristobal and his staff that Miami is going to give him time to build it the way that he wants to build it. And when I look at Mario Cristobal, I don't look at him and see a coach that is going to beat you with his own players and then he could swap players and beat you with your own guys, right? I think he's very much a guy that if he gets the level of player that he wants, is capable of winning. I think he proved that when he was at Oregon. Recruiting is the reason that you go out and you get Mario Cristobal. I feel like that's just something we all should acknowledge here. The on-field coaching is not always the best, but the recruiting is top-notch. I don't think there's a head coach in the country that works harder at recruiting than Mario Cristobal, or one who demands more of his staff on the recruiting trail on a day-to-day basis than Mario Cristobal. And Chip, they had a bad year. What'd they go, 5-7, miss a bowl game,
Yep.
Got blown out a lot, lost to Middle Tennessee State, and as a Florida State grad, I can rattle that off. But look, they could have panicked and gone to the transfer portal and just brought in a ton of guys from the portal, and maybe some Miami fans want them to do so, and maybe they should have. But look, he's definitely building this thing for the long term. They spent a ton of resources on this high school class in terms of scholarship members. So it's a big class, and it's a class to me that signals that Mario knows it's going to work there. They're going to give him the runway to make it work. And I think it starts, they call it the Great Wall of Mirabal, right? Alex Mirabal, the offensive line coach down there, Francis Mauigoa out of IMG, and Samson Okunlola are two of the best tackles that you'll see at the high school level. They're ferocious. They're really athletic. They're guys that can move in space and maul you, protect the quarterback. That is just a tremendously good combo of tackles to have. And look, I don't know if they're going to hit. 5-star rating says they'll probably hit, right? Those guys hit a lot more often than they don't. If you're a 5-star and you stay out of trouble and you stay healthy, your chance of getting drafted is awesome. They're not guaranteed to hit, but I will guarantee you this. If they do hit, you're not getting that level of player in the portal. 5-stars who hit are generally not in the portal. So to me, it starts up front with Miami. There's also some other guys in their class I like quite a bit. They needed to upgrade their pass rush. Ruben Bain is a Do you remember Cornelius Ingram? Played at South Carolina, was really good on the Chargers. I was sitting out there at Under Armour practice with Ivins and talking to him, and I'm like, he kind of reminds me of Cornelius Ingram. Body-wise, you're like, hey, this guy might have to move inside, but he moves well enough, even though he's kind of squatty and wider, that unique athletes can play unique positions. And I think he is a guy that actually has a chance to remain on the edge and be a really interesting kind of leverage, motor-type pass rusher with the quickness that he has. So I'm excited about this Miami's class. They also, Mark Fletcher, the back they got, is a dude who will run with some power and has some breakaway ability. I think they're building something down there in Coral Gables, and they're taking the patient approach because with the native son and Mario Cristobal, they kind of have to. Like, if Mario doesn't work down there, then we're going to have questions about the program as far as who will work down there.
The DNA of Mario Cristobal and what he wants from this Miami football team is a toughness, a relentlessness, a level of compete that I don't think he saw from that roster. I mean, there were midseason quotes after games, after disappointing losses, where it just seemed like he knew that the human beings that were in that locker room did not have the DNA of what he wants. And that's where we talk about the OKGs, our kind of guys. And I look at Mark Fletcher and I hear the reviews that you and Andrew Ivins have given us. I think about the ferociousness that you get from the tackles, the pass rushers. Mario Cristobal wants to imprint a true DNA, and I don't think a group of mercenaries is going to do that. Now, will Miami fans have the patience to really build this thing up? We'll see. Miami has a base level of talent where I think that we should 100% expect an improvement in the win column from 5-7. I mean, anything other than that would be absolutely unacceptable. But I'm really interested to see if Mario Cristobal is going to be able to imprint that DNA, because at times this season he seemed so disappointed. He was having quotes like, "We're going to be really, really honest, and this wasn't good enough." He was being honest and nearly opening the door, asking kids to leave so he could free up scholarships. That's me editorializing.
He told the parents, if you don't like it, come pick your kids up.
That's right.
He was asking them basically to get off my roster so I can clear some room for some guys that I actually want. There wasn't necessarily a huge embrace of the existing guys and the existing culture. And we can argue if that's good or bad. I think if you know you have a lot of runway and you're going to try to build it your way, the guys who want to get on board can get on board, and the guys who don't can get out, right? Two more names we should mention in this class who did decide to get on board. Robert Stafford is a dude who has just immense physical talent as a corner, and then also Damari Brown, really highly rated guy. We like him a lot. So a nice corner pair. They also picked up Damari's brother, UCF transfer, as well as UCF starting center, Matt Lee. So it's not that they didn't use the portal at all. It's just they recruited high school like they're going to have a long runway, and I'll be interested to see how that works out down there.